guys, it's Lakeisha from henbengchinese, and I would like to welcome you to your first video lesson. When I created henbengchinese, my aim was to make sure that everyone had an equal opportunity to learn Chinese. And whilst that seems like a really easy thing to do, there's actually a lot of factors that can affect how people can learn a language. And this may be just how much time they have, or maybe they don't have the money to go out and buy expensive textbooks, or maybe their school doesn't actually give them a lesson based on the language that they want to do, but maybe it's something that you're quite passionate about. And I feel quite strongly that everyone should have an equal opportunity to do the things that they're passionate about. I mean, I was quite lucky because I've been studying Chinese ever since I was 11 years old, and that was something that my high school taught me, and in year 7 and year 8 that was something that everyone did, and it was just accepted as one of the lessons that everyone kind of studied for a couple of years. And I found myself getting quite passionate about it and finding it quite fun and quite entertaining. And I know that a lot of people have the opposite. I know that a lot of people were quite passionate or quite excited to learn something that maybe their school doesn't teach them, or maybe they can't teach themselves because they don't have the right resources. And that is where henbengchinese comes in. Because if you have a computer or a phone which accesses the internet, or a tablet maybe, you can get onto henbengchinese. So just quickly, a little bit about me is my name is Lakeisha. As I've said, I'm 17 years old and I've been studying Chinese for the past 7 years. And as part of that, I have actually travelled and spent a little bit of time in Shanghai, Xi'an and Beijing. So I have quite a lot of background knowledge which can help you guys. So at henbengchinese, there's not just these video lessons. If these work for you, then that's great. But we also have Instagram at henbengchinese, and we have our blog. If you haven't found it yet, I will link it down below for you guys. But my real aim was to make sure that there was resources for everyone, because not one way of learning will fit everyone. So if you go to our blog, you will find a wide range of different resources. So our video lessons will all be linked on there, as well as a blog where I will answer your guys' questions. So just a few important things to note are that there are actually multiple different types of Chinese. The one that I'm going to be teaching you guys is Mandarin, which is the most commonly used throughout China. So it's the ideal one to learn if you want to speak to a wide range of locals and you want to connect with Chinese people on a wider scale. But you could also learn Shanghainese or Cantonese if you felt so inclined, or that was the specific kind of Chinese that you needed or you wanted to learn. So if you do want to learn Shanghainese or Cantonese, then this blog probably isn't for you as much. However, there will also be some things about Chinese history and Chinese culture which you might find amusing and entertaining. So that's also an option. We're also going to be learning simplified rather than traditional characters, again simply because simplified characters are a lot more widely used. So it makes sense for us to be learning these characters that we're going to come across a lot more. So traditional characters are used a lot in Taiwan and in Hong Kong, and they're also used a lot in art and advertising sometimes, and scholarly works, but they're not quite as common as simplified, which is why that's the type of characters that we're going to be learning. And also simplified are I mean, it comes with the name, but they're simpler, they're easier to learn, and they just they help connect you. And I think that's the important thing if you're learning any language, is that it's okay to learn a language just for the sake of it, but it's fun to kind of connect with other people as well in that language. Finally, you might be more commonly used to seeing Chinese as pretty characters and funny shapes on a piece of paper, but there is actually a spoken form of Chinese which is called pinyin, and that is something that I'm also going to be addressing in this blog. So if you want to use just the characters, then that's fine as well. If you want to just focus on the writing, I'd suggest maybe going onto our YouTube page and selecting our writing playlist, or just going onto our Instagram and looking at our reels for how to write certain words. But again, you could use this if you were only focusing on writing. So we're going to focus on all 4 areas that you would look at if you were going to be examined. So we're going to be looking at the listening part, we're going to be looking at the reading part, as well as the writing and the speaking. So you'll get a wide range of skills, all relating to Chinese. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome you all to Henbeng Chinese, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!